It was 2:17 in the night. The highway was drowned in darkness, so thick it felt as if someone had stolen the light from the sky. Only one thing was alive out there: the rain. Heavy, restless rain. Raindrops slammed against the truck's windshield so hard that it sounded like someone outside was tapping their fingers on the glass. I was driving alone on that highway, gripping the steering wheel. My name is Arman, and that night I had no idea that the most terrifying night of my life was about to begin. The radio was playing old songs, but the signal was weak. Every few seconds, the music broke apart into strange static noises. Then suddenly, the radio turned off by itself. I checked the buttons. Everything looked fine, but the radio stayed silent. Just then, something appeared in the beam of my headlights. Someone was standing right in the middle of the road. I slammed the brakes immediately. The truck skidded on the wet road and stopped with a violent jerk. In the headlights, I saw a woman. She was wearing a white sari. Her long hair was soaked and hanging down, covering her face. But the strangest thing was, she wasn't moving at all. Rain was pouring over her, yet she stood there as if she couldn't feel it. I honked the horn. Once, twice, 3 times, but the woman didn't move. Then slowly she lifted her head. Her face was still hidden behind her wet hair. A cold chill ran down my spine. I lowered the window slightly and shouted, "Madam, why are you standing in the middle of the road? Move aside." No response, only the sound of rain. Then slowly, the woman raised her hand and pointed toward the road ahead. Just a silent gesture. She didn't say a single word. I adjusted the headlights and tried to see further down the road, but everything looked normal, nothing unusual. When I looked back at her again, she was gone, completely gone. No footsteps, no shadow, no sound, just an empty road. I stepped out of the truck and looked around nervously. The rain had grown even heavier. Dense forest stood on both sides of the road. There was no way a person could disappear within seconds, and yet she was nowhere. I got back into the truck and started the engine again. My heart was telling me one thing: leave this place, now. As the truck moved forward, my phone suddenly got network signal again, and immediately a call came in. Unknown number. I answered it. Hello. For a few seconds there was nothing but the sound of someone breathing. Then a slow, rough voice spoke. "Don't ignore her in the rain." My heart nearly stopped. What do you mean? But the call disconnected. I tried calling the number back. It didn't exist. I looked into the rearview mirror. Only darkness behind me. But for a split second, it felt like someone was standing in the middle of the road again. The same woman. White sari. I quickly looked back at the road ahead. Just imagination, I told myself. But then, a strange smell began to fill the truck. Wet soil. And something else. Something like the smell of an old grave. I glanced at the side mirror, and my breathing froze. Wet handprints were visible on the back door of the truck, as if someone had just grabbed onto it. But I hadn't given anyone a ride. Suddenly, the radio turned off by itself. Through the static, a faint whisper came through. "She will come again." I immediately turned the radio off. A few kilometers ahead on the highway, there was a small roadside dhaba, where truck drivers usually stopped. I drove straight there. 4 or 5 drivers were sitting there drinking tea. I got down and sat with them. An old driver kept staring at me. Then he asked, "Did you come through that road?" "Which road?" I asked. "The one where a woman stands in the rain." My teacup almost slipped from my hand. "You've seen her too?" I asked quietly. The old driver stayed silent. Then he lit a cigarette and said, "Everyone sees her, but not everyone survives." A chill ran through my body. "What do you mean?" The old driver leaned closer and spoke softly. 20 years ago, there was an accident on that road. A young girl died. It was a rainy night. Her body was never found. The other drivers at the dhaba felt
fell silent. Another driver spoke up. People say she still wants drivers. There's danger ahead on the road. That's why she points forward. I asked, then what's the problem? The old driver looked straight into my eyes and said, the problem is, sometimes she doesn't warn anyone. She just stands there and smiles. A cold shiver ran down my neck. And then, I asked, the old driver said slowly, then the driver who sees her never reaches home. At that exact moment, lightning flashed outside, and in that flash of light, I saw her, standing across the road. The same woman, white sari, completely soaked, but this time her hair had moved slightly aside. I could see her face, and she was smiling directly at me. I ran outside immediately, but by the time I reached the road, she was gone. Again, only rain, and the empty wet road. I went back inside the dhaba. The old driver was staring at me. Then he quietly asked, you saw her, didn't you? I nodded. He went silent. Then he whispered, she won't leave you now. What do you mean? I asked. The old driver replied, from now on, whenever it rains, she will come to you. At that exact moment, my phone vibrated. A notification appeared on the screen. A photo had just been captured by the rear camera of my truck. I opened it. In the photo, the woman was standing behind the truck in the rain. But this time, she wasn't looking at the truck. She was staring directly into the camera. And behind her, in the darkness, another shadow was standing. A tall shadow. Something that didn't look human. And in that moment I realized something. The woman wasn't alone. Something else was with her. And maybe that thing was about to follow me all the way home.